In lesson 8.2, we're going to look at how to find the volume of pyramids and cones. To find the volume of any pyramid or any cone, we're going to use the formula area of the base. Remember, we became familiar with finding the area of the base shape in lesson 8.1. We're going to use that idea in this lesson as well. We're going to find the area of the base. We're going to multiply that by the height. And then we're going to take that final answer and divide it by 3. So if you remember from lesson 8.1, to find the volume of prisms and cylinders, we did area of base times height. We're going to use that very same formula again, but we're going to add one step to that, and that step is taking our final answer and dividing it by 3. So let's begin with looking at this pyramid here. We need to find the area of the base. And so when we look at a pyramid, finding the base is much easier than finding the base in a prism. In a pyramid, the base is a single side. It is not parallel to anything else. And all of the sides of the pyramid flow out of that base. So in this particular pyramid, this rectangle on the bottom is considered to be our base. All of the triangles that make up the sides of that pyramid flow out of that base. And so our base shape is the rectangle at the bottom. Okay, we're going to start by finding the area of that rectangle. And to find the area of a rectangle, we multiply base times height. So we're going to multiply 10 times 4 and get 40. So let's plug that in to our formula. Volume equals area of the base, which is 40, times the height. Now, it's very important in a pyramid that when we find the height, we're finding the height from the base to the very top of the pyramid. Okay? So we want, if I'm going to find the height from the very base of the pyramid to the very top, where all of the sides meet, that is this height here. Okay, that's this height here. I don't want to get that confused with something else called the slant height. Okay, the slant height is found on the side here. This is the slant height. I do not want to use that. I want to use the height from the top of the pyramid where all of the faces meet down to the very bottom of the base. So in this diagram, my height is considered to be 8 feet. So let's multiply area of the base times the height, and then remember we're going to divide by 3. So we're going to multiply 40 times 8, which is 320, and then our last step is to divide that by 3. So let me grab a calculator to do that, and I find my volume is 106.666, repeating over and over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. Okay, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, and we're going to use that kind of as our general rule unless we come across a question that says round to the nearest whole number or round to the nearest hundredth. We're going to go ahead and round to the nearest tenth. So my answer is going to be 106.7 feet cubed. Remember, we said volume is a 3-dimensional, so we're going to cube our answer. Let's find the volume of this pyramid. Now notice this is a little different pyramid. It's called a triangular pyramid. At the very base of this pyramid is a triangle, right? All the sides of our pyramid flow out of that bottom triangle. So that's considered to be our base. So let's begin by finding the area of that base shape. Remember, with a triangle, we multiply base times height times 1/2. So let's do that. Again, I'm going to use a calculator. We don't want to spend time multiplying by hand. So 1/2, or 0.5, times 45 times 45. I'm not sure I multiplied that right, so I'm going to do that one more time. And I get 1012.5. So that's my base area. So let's plug it into our formula. Volume equals 1012.5 times the height. Remember, height is that distance from the very top of the pyramid down to its base. So that height is 70. So I'm going to multiply area of the base times the height and divide by 3. So let's do that. 1012.5 times 70 divided by 3 gives us an answer of 23,000 625 millimeters cubed. And on this example, we didn't need to round. It came out as a nice whole number. Now we have a cone. On a cone, our base shape is always going to be the circle. Okay? The base of a cone is always a circle. So we don't even have to think there. We just know the base of a cone is always a circle. So let's find the area of that circle. Remember, our formula is pi times radius squared. And so the radius of this circle is 6. So we're going to multiply pi times 6 squared, and we get 113.04. So let's plug that into our formula. Volume equals 113.04 times the height of our cone. And again, very similar to our pyramid, height is from the very tip of the cone down to the base. So in this example, our height is 12. We're going to take that answer and we're going to divide by 3. So 113.04 times 12 divided by 3. We get an answer that's 452.16 feet cubed. My answer came out as a decimal that does not repeat. Okay, it terminated, it stopped, so I'm going to go ahead and just write that answer in. There's no need for me to round here. I got a terminating decimal. It doesn't continue, so again, there's no need to round. Let's end with one final example. Here we have a picture of a teepee. It says many Native American tribes built teepees that were cone-shaped. This teepee has a height of 13 feet. So from the top to the bottom, we have a height of 13 feet. And it says that it has a diameter of 10 feet. So the circle that makes up the base of our teepee has a diameter of 13 feet. So let's find the volume. Well, we know our circle is our base, and to find area of the circle, we multiply pi times radius squared. Well, we've been given the diameter. All the way across the circle is 13, so we want half of that. Half of 13 is 6.5. So let's multiply pi times 6.5 squared. So let's see, 6.5 squared times pi gives us 132.665. Let's plug that into our formula. Volume is equal to area of the base times the height. What's the height of our teepee? That's 13 feet divided by 3. So let's do that. 132.665 times 13 divided by 3. And I get a non-terminating decimal. This goes on and on. So let's round to the nearest tenth. I get 574.9 feet cubed.